Hello, everyone. Chad Frantzen. Welcome to the Kingdom Finance Show. I am so glad you're here. On today's program, I'm going to be talking about what's happening in culture and how Christian values, conservative values, biblical values are actually moving through Hollywood and cinema and the production of intellectual property for us to consume in the movie theaters and TV. So excited for today's program. Again, want to encourage you, please like and subscribe to the Kingdom Finance Show. It really helps us get the word out. And I appreciate you being here today. So let me go ahead and jump in on today's program. There's a lot going on in the investment world. And again, everything I share on the show is purely my opinion. It's from sources I'm reading about. I'm not giving you financial advice on here, but I want to share some pretty interesting things that are happening out that aren't necessarily getting a lot of media traction on that. We've heard in current events about Catherine, the Princess of Wales, and that she recently completed chemotherapy for her cancer. We also learned just the terrible, sad news about the hockey stars, Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau, who were tragically killed while riding their bikes. And it just reminds us that how fragile life is and how quite unpredictable life is. And it doesn't matter if you're royalty or if you're a professional athlete or celebrity, that there's just no guarantee that tragedy and hard things are not going to cross your paths. We know Scripture talks a lot about that, to take heart, because we do live in a fallen world. And so it's important for us as Judeo-Christians, people who have a Judeo-Christian worldview, it's important for us to be in unity with one another, to be okay to disagree with certain parts of our faith, but to be able to agree on the essentials, the core essentials about Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior and the one true way to salvation. But there are some other things that I feel like even in culture we get cross with each other, and it doesn't have to be that way. But God is still in our midst, and even amidst chaos and uncertainty and even tragedy, God is on the move. God is a God of redemption, and He wants that all would come to know Him. Another interesting current event, if you follow Major League Baseball, I usually only follow that in the playoffs, but the Baltimore Orioles recently held their first ever Faith Night event. And they had 6 players on their professional team share their personal testimony of accepting Jesus Christ as their Savior. And they had a band that led worship on that. And currently there's at least 18 Major League Baseball teams that are hosting similar type of Christian faith nights. And I think that's important. It's important for us as believers in the church to go out into the world, to go out into culture, to help be a voice of reason, to help give people an option besides just the sadness and all the craziness that comes with wars and rumors of wars and media and politics and all that. It's really important as the media campaign that you've seen on some of television called He Gets Us, which is put together by some Christian backed families. Those commercials, I love that because it's trying to meet people with where they are, whether they're struggling with their identity or gender, whether they're struggling with abortion or right to life. It's just meeting people where they are. I love that campaign. And a spokesperson for the He Gets Us campaign explained that their goal is just to reintroduce people to Jesus, the Jesus of the Bible, and His love and forgiveness. And the best way to do that is to meet people right where they are. Well, some pretty exciting news if you follow, I don't know if any of you follow the Wall Street Journal, either in print or online, but it is the go-to source in the financial and banking industry for information. And the Wall Street Journal, we're recording this in September of 2024. Just this month, there's an article. And this is the title of the article in the Wall Street Journal, folks. Religious movies are sweeping Hollywood, and rich investors are pouring in millions. Now, it goes on to say that Christian filmmakers have surprised the world with a series of box office hits, and that their success could change the entertainment industry. So go look at that. It's a really fascinating article. You can find it online at the Wall Street Journal. And I want to share a little bit more about that, because we have seen really an increase in quality production in cinema and theater across the country and the globe. And obviously the poster child for that is The Chosen from Dallas Jenkins, and just the success that is having. It's become one of the most popular series in the entire world. And then we have Jesus Revolution, a movie by the Erwin brothers, based on a true story. And love that. I think it grossed like, $54 million or something like that. Then we have Sound of Freedom, which was about child trafficking. It really galvanized religious viewers. It grossed $250 million on a $15 million budget. So that's incredible. And so it definitely, Sound of Freedom raised awareness to people about what's going on in the world with child trafficking, and how all of us can do our part, regardless of our worldview, regardless of even where we are in our faith, that something like child trafficking is so incredibly wrong. And there's so many people affected by it today that we need not be ignorant or on the sidelines for that. So examples of these hits was really assigned to Hollywood, and it was assigned to companies like Netflix and Amazon, that there's something here. There's something here. There's a sound. There's a voice that, again, Netflix and Amazons and Apples of the world, that they are for-profit, multi-billion-dollar businesses. So they are, from some standpoint, agnostic as to where their revenue comes from. Some of their revenue can come from good sources or bad sources, but this has definitely caught the eye, certainly with this article that's come out in the Wall Street Journal about what's going on in the Christian values movement. It's no longer low budget, low quality, C-class actors and directors. This is super high quality, higher budgets, A-class, actors like Kelsey Grammer and others, and directors like John Irwin, Dallas Jenkins. There's a lot of people in Hollywood who have Judeo-Christian worldviews, whether they're evangelicals, whether there's Catholics, whatever. They want to produce film and cinema. Now, again, I'm saying this because how do we communicate to a broken and dark world the hope that we have in Jesus? One of the great ways is to do this through cinema, entertainment, media, right? There's quite a few, and I don't know any of these people personally, but there's quite a few actors in Hollywood like Mel Gibson and Mark Wahlberg and Christian Pratt, that they have a Christian faith, and they are wanting to use their creative ability to write, direct, produce films that are in line with their values. Okay. And so that is not, no matter where you stand on this, that's not going to happen with Disney. Okay. So I don't personally invest in Disney. It doesn't align with my personal values. You're free to do whatever you want. I'm not giving you financial advice. But what I'm saying is, if people want to express themselves with a Judeo-Christian worldview, with biblical values in cinema, media, entertainment, they're not going to do that on a Disney platform, Disney, ESPN, ABC, et cetera. So let me talk a little bit about streaming services, and I want to kind of connect the dots here. Amazon, MGM Studios, has made a huge entrance into the Christian filmmaking, Christian streaming, Christian production world. In fact, Netflix, a key rival of Amazon, has also done that. Netflix is actually working with Tyler Perry and Devon Franklin on some new deals. Amazon MGM is actually working with John Irwin, a company called the Wonder Project, on that. So this is the theme of what's happening in culture. Now, again, I know I get depressed when I see what's going on in Washington and with debates and with human trafficking and all sorts of things. But I want to give you hope that if you share a Christian worldview, there are things going on. And what I'm talking about today here on the Kingdom Finance Show is in entertainment, in the entertainment industry, in Hollywood, film production. There's a lot of really amazing projects going on for that reason. So again, this is not something that you would ordinarily see in the past, where this is actually front and center in media and entertainment. So again, Amazon and the Netflix of the world, this has caught their attention. And so as an investor, right, I mean, this is something to be aware of, right? No matter what how this sits with you, this is a current event that's going on. Now, the Wonder Project was actually a project that Amazon MGM Studio just announced. I think it was late last year, early in 2024, that they were going to be investing in. And so Lionsgate and some others have gotten involved in this. And one of the things that we were able to do is we were able to connect with a lead investor called Sovereigns Capital, which is led by John Coleman, and they were putting together an investor group to invest in this Wonder Project. And if you go to the Wall Street Journal, this is all public information, right? You can go look at the Christian Hollywood article on Wall Street Journal online. I have the article pulled up as we're talking. And so what happens is the Wonder Project, which has an amazing team of talent, both creatively and on the executive side. Their executives have backgrounds at YouTube TV and Hulu and other places. So, and then you've got amazing creative talent. Well, then they pulled in the investment capital. And so to kind of tie this together of, well, what does this mean for me as a kingdom investor, as a values-based investor, is Sovereigns Capital, led by John Coleman, who's become a friend of mine, great person, great leader. They're based in Atlanta. They put together a special purpose vehicle. Again, I'm not giving advice here. I'm just giving you the facts of what happened. It's all in the Wall Street Journal article. Go check it out. And, so we were able to participate along with Sovereigns Capital into this SPV, special purpose vehicle, that raised about $23 million for the Wonder Project startup. And it was a great way to align our values with a long-term investment opportunity, right? There's no guarantee of what it's going to do, but it was pretty incredible because what happened is then Amazon subsequently committed a significant amount of money to the Wonder Project and now has a formal arrangement with them. Netflix has also been doing some other things. I don't know as much about that one, but when we talk about investing with a purpose, for a lot of people, we want to align that and how can it help our community, our families? How can we be involved in entrepreneurship that has Christian values that's helping make the world a better place? I mean, to create content, movies and series that are not going to be misaligned with our values, that's a very powerful thing to do for our kids, for our grandkids. It's something that will have staying power on that. So we were incredibly blessed to be able to participate in that. It's a really neat story. And I want to just continue this theme on Hollywood, just as I kind of wrap up here on today's show. Again, I'm talking about today just kingdom impact investing in Hollywood, in cinema. A lot happening here with the Wall Street Journal article, which interestingly, the author was embedded, went out with the Wonder Project for their filming of The House of David, which is a new project that the Wonder Project is working on. They have some rights agreements with Amazon for distribution. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but so they've been filming that. They just finished filming on season 1 of House of David. And this writer from the Wall Street Journal went with them to Greece for the filming, got to take some incredible pictures, interview people. And so the article is amazing to see what's happening out there. And this is a secular business newspaper. Wall Street Journal is not a conservative, a conservative outlet. I mean, they report well, it's business oriented. And so this is if you're an entrepreneur, if you're an investor, this is good awareness of what's happening out there. So again, so there's going to be different projects like the House of David, which will be coming out in 2025. And then I believe the article goes on to talk about another project they're going to do called Young Washington, talking about some of the history of the U.S. and founding fathers and the first president, George Washington. So incredible, incredible stuff. I want to share one other example that's in the news, and you may be familiar with Angel Studios. Angel Studios, you probably see their logo if you watch The Chosen, right? And this was a movement that started back in 2013, really with a desire to search for high quality films and TV shows that, as the founders say, amplify light for the upcoming generation. And Angel Studios really felt like the Hollywood, the gatekeeper model, if you will, was really broken. And we're seeing that a lot in the new economy and the share economy, gig economy. There's all sorts of new things that are coming up about how to produce film, how to do rental cars, how to do taxis, how to do vacation rentals, right? There's all this technology out there. So we're seeing that in Hollywood as well. Well, I wanted to share, this is some public information that was out from Angel Studio. They've had, over $300 million in global box office production from their films. They have close to $5 billion views, according to their website. And interestingly, their revenue, as they're publicly reporting, again, they're a private company. I am not an investor in it. I'm not promoting them. I have no endorsement deal from them at all. I'm really sharing public information. They're reporting that their revenues, Angel Studio made revenues of over $77 million in 2022. And in 2023, according to their website, they're expecting to make over $200 million. So my point is, this is a growing trend in the industry of Hollywood, media, entertainment. And it's something that, as an impact values investor, is something to be aware of, to look into, to see if it's something, you can at least consume some of this great content like House of David and Young Washington, and some of these other ones are coming out. But it was also telling for me that this is definitely a trend, a positive trend that we're going to see happening for the next several years. Because Angel Studios, again, I have no affiliation with them, but I've just read online that they're actually doing another capital raise. They're doing some crowdfunding to raise more capital so they can continue to grow. So what that means is that there's this movement of creating high quality content like The Sound of Freedom, like Jesus Revolution. So I want you to keep your eye on over the next several years. I'm super excited, but I'm also want to encourage you to look at it from a standpoint of like, hey, these are programs that we can support by subscribing, watching them with our friends, our family, our kids, our grandkids, because they're good, wholesome, conservative values. It's going to bring hope. It's going to bring redemption into people's stories, believers or not believers, on that. So again, today's show, I just in summary wanted to kind of cover with you what's happening in Hollywood, what's happening in this entertainment and film production. A lot of neat things, and I want you to be aware of it and keep tracking with it from that standpoint. So again, please check out that article online, Wall Street Journal, about Christian film in Hollywood. It gives you a really good glimpse into what's happening. The secular business world is following it. The big boys, and the Amazons and Netflix, they're all about making money, right? These are publicly traded companies. So it's a good thing, in my opinion here, that some of these Christian entrepreneurs, startups, that they're getting traction. They're getting investment dollars from some of these major media companies that they don't want to change the content, right? Let me be clear on this as we wrap up here on the show. The Amazons and Netflix, from my understanding, they're not looking to change the content the way Disney does. They just want access to distribution, to be able to show it to their subscribers on their platforms, right? I mean, it's kind of like, Game of Thrones or some of these other things where, you have to go to a certain streaming service to watch that. That's an important part, because what I've heard from a lot of these these entrepreneurs and creatives is they don't want to give up their creative license to a Netflix, a Disney, an Amazon. They want to be able to communicate their values and their story arc how they see fit. They don't want to be told to include really weird things. Let's leave it at that into their script. So that's an important note for me to make. I should have mentioned that earlier, but that's a good alignment to where even companies that maybe we ordinarily would not support are actually coming to Christian businesses and entrepreneurs because they want to participate in revenue, but they have no idea. Let's face it, Amazons and Netflixes of the world, they have no idea how to reach a Christian, a Judeo-Christian audience when it comes to movies and entertainment, right? So I love this. It's a great success story. Please keep track of it. Now, let me just close with this. Really appreciate you taking the time to listen to the show today. Again, I get pumped up when I hear stories like this coming out of the business world, and in this case, Hollywood and filmmaking today. I hope you're encouraged too. Again, we want to walk in hope and with joy in the midst of trials and in the midst of opportunity that is all around us to be salt and light. Hey, thanks again for being here. Please like and subscribe to the Kingdom Finance Show. If you personally, for your family or your business, your ministry, if you want to learn more about how to create a well-rounded, values-based financial plan, want to learn about what appropriate investment strategies are, I want to give you a way to connect as we wrap up today. Our team at Wealthbuilders Investments, you can find us at wealthbuilders.net/invest. We've got a free download for you. And then you can also schedule a complimentary phone consultation with myself or one of our advisors on our team. We'll be happy to connect with you. Again, this show is for educational purposes. I enjoy talking about things going on in current events. But again, I encourage you, if you want to make some practical applications, please connect with us online at wealthbuilders.net/invest. Thanks for being a part of the Kingdom Finance Show, and we will see you next time.
Thank you so much for joining me today on the Kingdom Finance Show. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave us a review. It really helps to get the word out. For more resources on becoming a Kingdom investor and to connect with us directly, visit our website at wealthbuilders.net. That's wealthbuilders.net. We'll see you next time on the Kingdom Finance Show. The content provided is for educational purposes only. We encourage you to seek personalized investment advice from your financial professional. For all tax and legal advice, please consult your CPA or attorney. Investment advisory services are offered through Authentic Counsel, a registered investment advisor. Securities are offered through Cabin Securities, a registered broker-dealer. The content of this podcast does not constitute an offer of securities. Offerings can only be made through an offering memorandum, and you should carefully examine risk factors and other information contained in the memorandum.